same leaf shape, same texture, same color. Identical twins? Hello, fellow plant weirdos. It's Carmiel Marceline, and I'm so happy that you're here. If you are new to the channel, hey, welcome to our plant family. We unabashedly hyperfixate on plants here. Have you ever looked at two plants side by side? They look oddly similar. Same leaf shape, same texture, same color. It's as if they were identical twins. But if you look closely, and I mean closely with that darn magnifying glass, you actually see that they aren't exactly the same. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about different philodendrons that honestly could be each other's doppelganger. I tried to do as much extensive research on all of these different cultivars, but it's very hard to be analyzing certain plants and characteristics when you don't actually have the plant in front of you. With that, let's get into it. Plant doppelganger number 1. Over here, we've got the Philodendron Felix, and over here, we've got the Philodendron Billietiae. Do they look similar to you? I mean, both of them do have elongated leaves that have some bits of ruffle pleating and those little fun ears on top. So what are the differences? Philodendron Billietiae are native to Brazil, French Guiana, and Guyana. Woo! I've been practicing that for the past like 10 minutes. And they're found underneath the rainforest canopy. They are climbers because they're trying to reach toward probably that filtered light. The leaves hang parallel to the floor. They look downward versus upward toward the light, which is quite fascinating. The leaves are this matte green color. And lastly, they have these orange petioles that essentially connect the leaf to the stalk of the plant. In comparison, a Philodendron Felix is a pretty new species that was found in Colombia. I couldn't necessarily get one straight answer on its origin because not much is known, but it does have more of a ruffled pleating on the leaves. This was sold to me as a Philodendron Billetae. I honestly can't tell you if that is correct. I can't tell. Is this orange? To me, it doesn't look orange. It looks more reddish pink, but it definitely has a stalk, and you can't really see it here because I have to add more soil because she's getting top heavy, and I also need to put her on a pole to climb. Anyway, I digress, but this is the specimen that I do have. When I got her, she was maybe 3 leaves, and look at how long and beautiful the pleating on this leaf is. I've had it for about a year, so I'm sure once I have it climb and I repot her in a bigger thing, because you see that root? That's right here. It's time to move her. Plant doppelganger number 2. I have a little doggus guest over here that does not want to show his face, but is willing to share his butt. But anyway, I was talking about these two plants, the Philodendron Ring of Fire and the Philodendron Caramel Marble. Both are stunning, so stunning. They've got these serrated, long, teeth-like leaves that have a beautiful variegation of hues of orange and yellow. So what makes them different? Philodendron caramel marbles are actually variegated Plutos, which is a different cultivar than a Ring of Fire. They actually have more wide, broad arrow-shaped leaves versus the Ring of Fire that is more elongated. They are also extremely expensive, extremely. A Ring of Fire, much more affordable. Like, I have one in my collection. The caramel marble also doesn't have variegation that is stable, so you could end up getting a node for a caramel marble and it become a Pluto and you just spent hundreds of dollars on it. So it's for the risky, not the risk averse. They also have different coloration. I'd say their coloration is more dark and rich. It's called a caramel marble for a reason. So it's got more brownish, coppery hues than a ring of fire. The variegation on a Philodendron ring of fire, it can be more bold, like a more bright yellow. I don't have the best specimen for you. This is one I imported from Indonesia a couple years ago, but then I got a little too cocky and chopped it up because I wanted to make a more full plant. And then all of those unalived themselves, and now I'm left with this stubby looking one. But like I was saying before, I think I paid maybe $60 for this, not $600, which is what you can usually get a caramel marble for. Do I want a caramel marble? 100%, but for now, this is one that I'm okay with. Also, you can see this new leaf. It's got, it's not opening yet, and I don't want to undo it, but it's got a beautiful orange hue over here. That's really, really pretty. But you can tell, very narrow and pointy leaves. Plant Doppelgänger number 3. I have neither of these plants. I cannot afford one, unfortunately, and I'm too afraid to buy one that actually isn't a Whipple Way because they are pricey. On this side, we've got a Philodendron Whipple Way. This side, we've got a Philodendron Snowdrift. As you can tell, the juvenile forms look quite similar. But what's interesting is when they mature, they look quite different. And that's what you see right now, the mature forms. A Philodendron Whipple Way is technically a variegated domesticum, but it was grown from the specific collection from these two plant enthusiasts, Dick and Ralph, who lived in California and named this after the street they lived on. And it passed down through this tight community. So it's all offshoots of that one parent plant. That's what makes a Whipple Way a Whipple Way. I did talk about this more in depth in a previous video that I did on quiet luxury plants. If you would like to watch it, I will link it up there for you. Philodendron Whipple Ways have a light pale green color. Of course, if you give it more sunlight, it will lighten it up, but it has speckles of green, white, and even pink. The undersides of the leaves have a beautiful pink color that just, it looks like cotton candy, if you will. It's just a very fun plant. One day I will have you. Yes. And I looked on a subreddit thread when I was doing some research, and someone said that the key difference between a snowdrift and a Whipple Way is the Whipple Way, instead of having the petiole create a new sheath for a new leaf to grow, the existing sheath from that previous leaf will open and a new leaf will come out that way. On the other hand, Philodendron snowdrifts are suspected to be a hybrid between, and don't quote me on how to pronounce this because I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, a pinnatifidum and a giganteum. They have these oblong leaves that are so white and creamy, it looks like snow with speckles of green on them, and as they mature, the leaves take a more wavy form and it darkens in color. Plant Doppelgänger number 4. To the naked eye, both of them look quite similar. On this side, I've got a Philodendron Jose Buono, and on this side, I have a Philodendron Paraiso Verde. Both have beautiful elongated leaves that are cream with speckles of green, and then over time, they darken. They also have stable variegation. The Philodendron Jose Buono is from, actually I don't know where it's from because not much is known about the plant. All I know is that it was named after Jose Buono Colon from Puerto Rico, but I actually looked at a subreddit where someone reached out on Facebook to the supposed person it was named after and asked him more about the plant, etc. Apparently, he got the plant from someone in a trade and actually had no idea that it was named after him until he heard it from a friend. Not sure if that is some real lore or not, but what you see with the Jose Buono is yes, it is a climber. This is a huge one. They grow so fast. I propagated another one and it thrived, and then I sold it. But when it creates a new leaf, you can kind of see it here with this new leaf. When it creates a new leaf, it's much lighter. Oftentimes it's a creamy white color, and then over time, as it gets more sun, it darkens into some of this color, and you can see more speckles. I'll put it closer to the camera here, but you can see that they have lighter green speckles on that darker green leaf. The Paraiso Verde has a irregular shape. I liken it to a kindergartner's drawing, where it looks like different blobs hanging around, unlike the Jose Buono where it's more of a paddle shape. The variegation is also slightly different. It's more of a malted white and green, not as clean as a Jose Buono. Plant Doppelgänger number 5. Here's a Philodendron Sodiroi, and here's a Philodendron Mamei. Both have heart-shaped leaves. Clearly, they're philodendrons. But if we look closely at a Philodendron Sodiroi, yes, it has that heart-shaped leaf, but the silver variegation is so heavy and prominent, it looks as if it was airbrushed or watercolor painted onto the leaf. Philodendron Sodorois are native to French Guiana in South America. They are climbers, and when they mature, they can have leaves up to 5 to 8 inches in length. And they also have these dark red petioles, and at the base of the plant's leaf, there are these small little lumps. On the other hand, a Philodendron Mamei is native to Ecuador and is a crawler. Yes, it literally will crawl versus climb. And they have more narrow, elongated leaves than a Sodiroi, and the silver variegation, honestly, she's finicky. Sometimes she'll give you lots of variegation, and sometimes she'll give you very little. They also have flat petioles that have a ruffled edge on them. I don't have the best specimen because my other one died, but I am trying to propagate this one. It's starting to grow some roots, but you'll get the gist. The leaves on this Mamei are more narrow, right? It's more pointy, and the variegation, it's different patches of silver, and those petioles that I was talking about here, right? They're more flat. They're not as round or cylindrical as some of the other philodendrons out there. There you have it. Those are philodendron plant doppelgangers. Plants that look so incredibly alike. It's as if they were twins. But if you, of course, look closely, they actually aren't. Were any of these surprising to you? Do you also have difficulty telling them apart? Or is that just me? Hopefully I'm not alone here. If you have more information on ways to tell them apart, let me also know down below in the comments. I'd love to learn. And with that, if you liked today's video, you know what to do. Hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. And if you want to be notified every single time I post, which is every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern, ring that bell. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for spending it with me, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!